perfect for self-defense. First one we're going to talk about is the collie stick. These are often used with one in each hand. You can also use it with one hand. I'm going to show you how police carry a tool that is exactly similar to this. It's based on this. This first type of strike that you do with two hands is known as a Sinawali pattern. So you're bringing one hand over the other one, and you do this a lot in training when you use this type of weapon. This is also called arnis or a screama. You can do different patterns, practice with partner, you can practice in the air, you can hit a stack of tires, but basically what's going to happen, I'm going to put one down, is you're going to start to create a lot of speed, power, accuracy in these basic strikes for self-defense. So this becomes a very effective self-defense tool that's based on a martial arts weapon. To use it for self-defense, you can use two hands and thrust through your opponent this way, two hands coming through here for self-defense, right through his teeth. You can strike with one hand with these angles coming down straight over the head, coming through horizontally or back. You can even bring it up. You can add a spin, which increases the speed of that strike as you come through. But it's all based on this basic stick. Hello, Ghost. Ghost Talks, good to see you. Patrick is here. But I wanted to show you this martial arts tool or martial arts weapon becomes this law enforcement tool. Now this one is just a straight police baton. I'll put this over here. I'm going to show you. Your thumb would go in there. That wraps around your hand so that if it comes out, it comes off your thumb. I threw that in there because a lot of times people forget to mention that when you use it, you want to carry it like this, and this string is never just for your wrist. It gets stuck there and you go with it. So that's a small pro tip. So you start on your thumb, wraps around your hand, and that keeps it here this way. Now with the basic police baton, which is the same, almost the same length as your traditional collie or a screama arnis stick, you have the same basic techniques. You have these strikes coming through at these angles, coming down over the top, coming through here. You can bring it up under their chin. He might be reaching. You're going to smash the hand, smash it coming down this way. You get two hands on it. It becomes a thrusting tool, a shoving tool. You can even box the sides of his ears or into his ribs. You bend the knees, come into the solar plexus, lifting him off the ground. Vomit comes out. This blood comes out for self-defense. You can stop someone. These are very effective, which is why they were carried for a long time. Now, you might not be able to get away with carrying this police baton. Hello, Doug. Doug actually sent me this particular baton. This was Doug's. You might not be able to carry this police baton with you on the street, but this is a perfect home self-defense tool. Hello, Studer. Good to see you. You can keep this inside your house for a home invasion, somebody who comes over who won't leave, who's threatening you, who's trying to take something from you, harm you, take your life. You can use this in the house. You can even keep this with you in the trunk of the car. I wouldn't put this under the seat or anywhere within reach. Law enforcement has a big problem with that if they find you with one of these. But if you had a pair of these and you had these inside, DS, thank you for saying, DS says, love your vids. Studer, thanks for that $20 super chat, much appreciated. But you carry a pair of these, tell them hey man, I'm headed to my martial arts class. I'm headed to the park to train. I practice with my collie sticks, and it's just a martial arts self-defense tool. Or maybe you don't bring this with you, but you train with these and you learn these basic angle strikes. Always come off of your shoulder, always fight from behind your stick. The follow through is very important. Turning your shoulders and your hips. You generate a lot of power with these, especially this. These are made out of rattan. I'll put a link below if you need a pair of these, or if you need the next self-defense tool. I'm going to show you the next martial arts weapon self-defense tool that you can use to protect yourself. But this one is extremely lightweight. It's rattan, so it's a grass. You'll see they come in peeled and unpeeled. This is unpeeled. I like these. I just prefer them a little bit better. These are great for practicing, especially when you start. You can work on wrist flexibility. When you do that, always keep your hands closed. G-Force Racing, new follower, thank you. G-Force talking about the Cane Masters canes. So you're coming forward this way. You can come inside and outside. Like I said, you can add this spin when you're doing your striking, adding this extra loop over your head, coming through the other way, increases the spin. I have a lot of videos here if you want to learn how to use these I like to teach them for self-defense. There are a lot of traditional things in Filipino martial arts that you can do that I don't do in my self-defense classes. I like to keep it simple. I like 2 hands on it. I like using it more like the riot baton or the police baton. But that brings me to the other martial arts self-defense tool to protect yourself, which is one of my very favorites, the Japanese Okinawan tonfa. And the tonfa has a lot of features that also mimic the side handle baton. I should say the side handle baton mimics the tonfa, because the side handle baton, PR24, this one's the traditional monadnock that a lot of you might have. This one did not come from Doug. Doug sent me some of these, but this one was the one that I carried as a 19-year-old MP, military policeman in the Marine Corps. This is the one I was first issued, and then it stayed with me for up until now. So I've had this, I'm old now, I've had this for a long time. This is my favorite self-defense tool. Of everything that you can or can't carry, this is my number one for its effectiveness. And I want to show you the tonfa first, and then I'll show you a little bit with that. But starting with this big knob, there are 2 reasons to have this knob here. One is to keep it from flying out of your hand, but 2, it's also to strike with. I guess you could say 3, the knob and the handle is to catch and to trap. This is also a trapping weapon, like a lot of martial arts tools are, a lot of martial arts weapons are. But this as a hammer, think of it as a hammer, almost like a hatchet coming in. Very simple, very effective self-defense. You can do a lot of damage to defend yourself. Hello, Ian, it's good to see you. Yeah, Ian says likes the no-nonsense approach. Tricks look good, but we want it to work, especially self-defense. I don't care if it, I'm gonna lower it just a little bit, camera, because I want you to see when I hit him in the stomach. My bag, I don't have anybody here to hit in the stomach, but maybe one day we'll get somebody. What I usually do is I get somebody and I have them hit me in the stomach so you can see what happens. But using this, thrusting straight down this way is my favorite way to use it. So when you hold it here, it's gonna block your arm from their attack. Maybe they have a baseball bat or tire iron or a golf club, and you put this over here. Yeah, Doug says the PR24 brought fear to the bad guys. And you'll still see a lot of these. Hello, G. Carlton, it's good to see you. Good evening. You still see these a lot. These days, there are, sadly, pictures of riots of all kinds of craziness around the world, all different reasons. And you see the local police departments and law enforcement and the militaries putting down the riots. And you see these guys either coming at them with this, like this, or they're holding it like this. And then every once in a while you see them holding it this way. This is my favorite way. And again, it's so that you can defend that, but also holding it here, jabbing straight, just like you're doing punches. This is how you would use it. You would keep it in the center line of your body. You're gonna try to remove or destroy his ability to breathe temporarily or permanently for self-defense. Temporarily, his ability to breathe and stand up. You go a little bit lower, you hit him right there in that fascia, that thin muscle. You can create a hernia. You rip that, tear that, put him on the ground. Hello, Jeff. It's good to see you. Jeff says, really appreciate the video. But just simple, in this straight line, you would get into a good stance. And you can do the traditional horse riding stance if you know your karate or your martial arts, your traditional Japanese or Korean style or Chinese style. You can get in that stance and you can practice, or you can go more of a kind of a little bit bent knee stance and practice. You don't have to be so traditional when we're practicing self-defense using your martial arts weapons, but I do want you to extend through your shoulders and hips and generate more power, and I want you to practice it in a way that you're pushing yourself faster and faster so that you get winded and that you get your heart rate up and that you exercise your muscles and you build strength in these strikes so that when you need it, you can use it. Now, another thing that you can do is you can flip it out so that the longer side gives you extra reach. Now you're striking with that long side forward, and it's the same thing. You just spin it, and you're striking in that center line, coming in to his body, and this way. Now from here, you can also bring it down on top. You can bring it across this way, up under his groin, right between his legs, up under his chin, just from here. But this is also designed, which is why you have this big fat knob on the end of these. Your hand will close but not tightly, so that it can spin. And then you practice this, make sure that's out of the way, and always come across your body fully, striking from one side to the other side. And from here, you heard it snap as I hit the other one. I also hit my pinky finger a little bit in there. Good reminder to pay attention. It's been a while since we've done these. Just bringing it, imagine that's just popping him right up under the chin, or maybe he's reaching out, he's trying to grab and you smack him with that. So bringing it up and then always re-chambering, bringing it back in here. Yeah, Doug said we have police officers who can do push-ups. Doug, I used to do push-ups with this. I used to do push-ups on these, but I've had these for so long. You'd hold them like this, you get down and you do your push-ups this way. But these, you can see, are made in a very traditional way. There's no metal. It has the wood peg, and it goes through there. You can see how it's kind of made. And I'm just afraid that as I get older, and my tonfa, which I've had for probably 40 years, they're getting older, and I don't want to break them. They have sentimental value. So I'm not doing push-ups on these anymore. But if I didn't fear breaking them, I would show you how to do that. But just coming across, because I love doing push-ups in all different ways. Practice this way over and over, but think about pushing, right? That's a strike, and then you catch him on the way by, smacking him across the face for self-defense and bringing it back in. And again, this is also something you might not be carrying with you every single day. Hello, Free Space, good to see you. Daryl, good to see you. But you could. Yeah, Daryl's in California. You could put these in a backpack, be walking down the street. Someone could say, hey, what do you do with those? They look like a weapon. You say, yeah, they are. They're my martial arts weapon. I'm going to my martial arts class. I'm going to train, or I'm going to the park to train. I've been learning these online. It's just a martial arts weapon. But it's also a self-defense tool that you can use to defend yourself. Yeah, there it is, Garrett. Garrett said that's what the cops have. There's the version that the police officers carry, or used to. Police officers around the world carry this more than any other baton, from what I've been told, or from what I read. Hello, Matthew. It's good to see you. I saw you logged on a little bit after we got finished this morning. It's good to see you. But yeah, Ray, good to see you. Yeah, Ray says tonfa is a great weapon. You might not be able to carry this one. In fact, it might be illegal to have this wherever you live. So you want to check your local laws and your state laws. However, if you had this in your house, yeah, Garrett says they have them at Delks, a military store. If you have them at a store, then they've probably already done the research, and you're allowed to buy that, and they'll tell you whether you can or not. Sometimes there's a law in your state that might say law enforcement or licensed security guards are allowed to buy these, and if you don't have one of those licenses, you can't necessarily buy it. But if you can, this is a perfect option for home self-defense. It's like a home insurance policy. It's like an insurance policy for your house that you get to protect yourself, right? And again, maybe it lives by the door, maybe it lives in your bedroom, and maybe you have one of these, but you want extra options. Maybe you don't have these, you don't want one of these, and so you have one of these. This self-defense tool is extremely heavy. You can use it like this, like a traditional baton, either striking here or like I showed with the tonfa, using that knob as kind of a hammer, striking very effectively. All the force of your strike is concentrated on this extremely hard piece of plastic. Now, a lot of times when I do these videos, I show you, and I hit myself a little bit with my martial arts weapons. I don't like to do that with these because even that little bit really hurts. And you can imagine where that would do a lot of damage for self-defense. Holding it this way, you have all of those swinging motions, all the things coming up and down at angles. You have the thrusting straight in. You have that turning strike to get more distance. You can turn it this way and hold it this way. This is a very common way, being able to push against this handle and have this front hand direct and guide it, and being able to thrust into the person who's trying to hurt you, trying to take something from you for self-defense. You can stick this here, and if he comes in, he's trying to hit you with something, being able to then block with both of your hands up here, or using this position here. And I was reminded recently, you have to be careful if you block over your head that it doesn't come back and smash you. But that's where practice comes in. And good technique and a good stance, good footing under your body, being able to grab the back of that wrist and using both hands to push into it, get into what's known as a tendon lock in martial arts, usually 120 degrees. I think it's 70 degrees, 120 degrees. Whatever the opposite of 120 is on the other side of the circle. But that's about how much you want bent. If you're 90 degrees, it's gonna collapse. You're gonna hit yourself over and over again. So you wanna be able to push out and away. So when you're here, this in the traditional martial arts high block, a lot of people will do it like this. You're hitting, it's because they're always looking down. That's why I tell them, look up, see where you're going. And all of a sudden your hand comes way up. But it's this angle above your body. And so you're blocking up, you're blocking down, you're blocking to one side, you're blocking to the other side, and then you have all your basic strikes. And you can also hold it here, which is why you can see the handle grip. The grip is there, carved in there, or formed. It's probably in a made in a form. This one, I love it. It says made in USA, has the patent number on it. Like I said, this one's very old, because I'm old. Made in New Hampshire. I'm trying to figure out, my eyes are getting old, I can't see what it says anymore, but it's made, it says other over here, I don't know what that means. But I'm holding it here, I can use it like I did the first baton that's similar to that collie stick that we used. I can use it two hands here, I can thrust, I can push here, coming straight through his teeth for self-defense. You can even snap it out there and aim it a little bit more like that, although that seems unnecessary. Just pushing through is enough to push him back. In self-defense, like you said earlier, you don't want super fancy, you want what works. And some basic principles, situation awareness, pay attention, but always get in a better position. Put the weapon between you and the assailant for self-defense. The bad guy, the thug, the punk who's coming after you, you stand back, the other hand's always up and open. Hey, I'll defend myself, and then if you have to, just a quick, fast jab. And again, all the force of your strike is concentrated right there, and then it goes right into his teeth and to his nose, to his mouth. Anthony asked if I can ship this. I don't sell these, Anthony. I don't have a link for these. I do for these. If you look below, the first link has this martial arts weapon that you can use to defend yourself. And then it also has those Eskrima collie sticks, if you wanted to see those. And I'm pretty sure these do ship to California. There are martial arts schools all over California. Some of the best martial arts schools in the world are in California. And there's a lot of schools, traditional schools, Okinawan schools. And I know for a fact that you can get these in California because I've trained with them in California. I got this in California. Oh no, I had it in California. I was stationed at 29 Palms, Mojave Desert, military policeman, Marine Corps. I carried this. And I know if you're licensed as a security guard, I think, or as law enforcement, you can get this in California. Other than that, I don't know what the laws are. They change all the time. So you want to research it. It doesn't take much. Just Google it. You'll find out very quickly. And you can find some companies like a good, usually a law enforcement uniform store or a security guard uniform store. They often carry things like this. So you don't have to have it shipped. You can pick them up locally, or you can have them shipped. Don't buy these on Amazon. If you try to buy something like this on Amazon, you're gonna find some garbage. It's like white and it's foam, some kind of knockoff, or you'll see something that's a knockoff that's not really the same thing. It'll be like half the size. It'll be made out of some cheap plastic that'll cut your hand. So go for either the Monadnock, or I think Smith & Wesson makes them. A couple different companies that make law enforcement gear make them. Or don't worry about the police style. Get one of these or get a pair of these and practice. Learn how to, block with one, strike with the other one. Learn how to snap them back and do all kinds of fancy stuff. It's been a while since I messed with these, but you can get really good at these in self-defense. And these will become almost like an extension of your body, and all these different fun techniques that I haven't done in 15 years. You can learn those. Ask me, and I'll make you some videos. I'll do some training with them, get my skills back up. Then I'll show you how to use these and I'll put on a martial arts uniform, and I'll show you how to use these martial arts style. But I also want you to learn how to use these for self-defense. And self-defense is as simple as stick it right through his throat for self-defense, or right into his teeth. If it's life or death, it's you or him. And that's one of the principles of self-defense, what you remove or destroy. And with these, a lot. You can do a lot to defend yourself with one of these. I think somewhere, yeah, you can see, used to have some of the old style writing on it. Yeah. Yeah, Doug says the knockoff ones, the handles will shatter and that'll just slice your hand up. So don't buy a cheap version of these either. Get them from a good martial arts store. The link that I put below, that goes to Century Martial Arts, and they always have decent quality stuff. Yeah, Anthony says, thank you, he'll be ordering a pair. So reach out to me, let me know in the comment section below if you already train with either the Okinawan tonfa or the Eskrima Kali Arnis short stick. These are generally, oh, thank you, Ian. Ian says outstanding content. These are generally the way you size them. People ask me all the time. They're about an inch in diameter. This one's probably 7/8 inch. And it's a grass. It's not wood. You can see, if we bring it back a little bit, maybe the fibers of the grass, like a bamboo. I don't know if it's the same family or not. But it's like what they make furniture out of, rattan, and they strip it into thin strips and they weave it together. But this is what it looks like if you don't cut it down like that. And they're about as long as your middle finger to your armpit, or 26, 28 inches, I think are usually the two main sizes, and they're extremely inexpensive. They're not much. If you go to that first link, you'll see, I think they're like for a pair, you're like maybe 12 bucks at the most. I think depending on which ones you get. They're not that expensive. These are a little bit pricier, but like I said, I've had these for probably 40 years, I think. 52, so I think I got them when I was a tween or a teen. So I've had them since then. And yeah, I mean, they last forever. So either go with this, or go with both. This is Filipino style, Indonesian style. This is a whole different style. This is more traditional Okinawan Japanese style. So allow yourself, that's the beauty of the internet. You have this global virtual dojo where you can learn from anybody and everybody if you keep your mind open and you don't get hung up on whatever little cosmetic things that you don't like. But learn how to do something new, right? Learn a little bit from this guy, go over and learn some from that lady, learn some from that guy, and you can master the basics and be your own guru, be your own instructor. And then one day when you have time, you have money, go find a martial arts school and train there. Or keep it self-defense style. I love self-defense now. I still will always do martial arts till I die, but my focus is shifting more and more and more to what works, and I don't care much about anything else. The aesthetics, the ranks, the uniforms, the style. If it works, I want to do it. If it doesn't work, I don't care, right? I can appreciate it. I can appreciate when someone does good martial arts, but I also want to know, how do I defend myself and my family, keep myself safe? You guys have been awesome. Again, thanks, Stewarder, for that super chat. And I will see you guys in just a little bit. Gonzalez says, new subscriber, watched a lot of the videos, had a question, what should we do in a situation where the opponent has a gun? Pray. I think the first thing you have to do is pray, or before you pray. So I'm not being flippant or trying to be funny. It's one of those things where usually I think statistics show when the gun comes out, he shoots you, or you don't even see it and you get shot. I think that happens a lot. And then the idea that someone's going to hold a gun on you and rob you, give them all your stuff, right? Your life is much more valuable than your stuff. So if he's got a gun on you, he's robbing you, give him your stuff. If you know you're going to get shot, there's nothing else that you can do. You can try to go for the gun while you're moving to the side. You'll see a lot of Krav Maga videos. I'm only laughing because somewhere in here, it's all the way up front, I have a couple of trainers. Trainers are fake self-defense tools that you squeeze like that. Gun, I think we already said it. So trainers are fake guns, they're rubber, they have a orange tip, so you know it's like that. And so there are a lot of videos that people do. And forever, when I was in traditional martial arts, it was very popular. You go to seminars, there'd always be a guy or girl there teaching you how to take away a gun, right? Or 2 or 3 gun disarms. Doing Hapkido, I did a lot of Hapkido growing up as part of the traditional martial arts that I was in. And Hapkido is based on old jiu-jitsu, and there's a lot of gun takeaways there. And A lot of people train it, right? It's what we call a Hollywood kind of thing. In other words, it works really well in the movies to, like, if you're John Wick, or you are the Equalizer, or you are the old ones, what was his name? Matt Damon played the I can't even think of it now, the Bourne Ultimatum, the Bourne guy, or you're the Taken guy, Liam Neeson. If you're one of those actors, your stuntman can step in when it's time for the gun to come out and be held against your head or against your chest or be pointed at you, and then you strip it away, and then, you know, and if you're in a really good movie, you can release the slide, drop the clip, the round goes flying in the air, the slide goes flying out there, the spring comes out, and then you render his gun completely useless. And that works extremely well in the movies. But in my opinion and in my experience, and we used to use the sim munitions in the military. Sim munitions is a simulated ammunition. So it hits you, and they're usually either a paintball or it's another kind of hard ball. And so when we would pressure test, which means you take it out and you say, okay, now take it away from me, you know, from somebody who really knows what they're doing, take it away from me before I shoot you. And you're here, and then the guy goes to do his whole kung fu karate, or I try to do it all the time, you know, and all the things that I learned growing up and had mastered with the right partner and with the rubber trainer, and none of them ever worked. You popped every single time, and you realize that the timing just doesn't work. And so that's just a long answer to say, you know, avoid a situation where that happens. Obviously, if you can, if you can't, and you don't have any other choice, go for it anyway. Fight to defend yourself. If it's you know, they want your money, they want to take something from you, give it to them. But some things are worth fighting for. And if you have to fight for it and you lose that fight, but you had to fight because it's the right fight, then fight. And that's just my opinion. I could be wrong. And, you know, God may judge me when I get to heaven and say, yeah, you gave him the wrong information. I don't know. I'm just telling you what I think, since you asked me. But if we were here in person, we would get the trainers off the wall. I would even show you, I'd pretend like this is our rifle. I'd show you what to do, because I know about 10 different rifle disarms, about 6 different gun disarms from different positions, and he's over your shoulder, he's behind your back, he's back here, and they all start with one of these quick turns where you deflect and you grab, and then you have the leverage and you pull it out, and hopefully they're smart enough not to have their finger in the trigger well, so you don't break their finger. You have to remind them to put their finger like this, and then it all works, right? And it'll work here. But if we were doing it for, yeah, thank you, Doug. If we were doing it for real, I would say all the Krav Maga stuff, and I'm not against Krav Maga, it's just that I dislike how much they promote this idea that you're in the IDF, you're the Israeli Defense Forces, and some guy from Hezbollah is back there. And I think even if we honestly had one of the IDF Special Forces guys and he were telling us the truth, he would say, yeah, I probably wouldn't do that. Most of the guys that I know that I've trained with also say, no, that doesn't work. Thank you, Ura, Superfly. Anyway, I'll see you guys. Hopefully, I'm going to try to do another one tomorrow. I'm making a few videos for Cane Masters in the near future. So I've been working with them on some things. And so I hope to be here tomorrow to do some of that. And then I was going to do another live stream and do some training with you, because that's where my heart is. And I'll see you guys in a little bit.